Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is March the 18th. Hello. Today we're doing week number 5 pieces. Y'all, I think there were less pieces this week than last week. That was quite a few pieces. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I hope it is nice weather where you are. The sun is really bright today. And after the live, I can't wait to open up the windows. Enjoy some breeze coming through. I have some sublimation photos to do for a client, and then I'm working on my t-shirt quilt, y'all. Hello, everybody. I have all my pieces traced and cut, ready to fuse in place. Before we move on, I just want to say if you're on Patreon, don't forget this Sunday, day after tomorrow, we're doing our quilt retreat. So you'll find the link on the Patreon page from 2 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have some works in progress, if you have some UFOs, or maybe you want to start something new, or maybe you don't want to sew or do anything crafty and you just want to hang out, come join us. If you can't stay the whole time, just come in, pop in, and say hello. Y'all, everybody here on YouTube, guess what? Next Tuesday evening is our mug rug of the month. Train tracks, named by Tammy. The pattern is down. Well, the things that you need for that project is down in the description box of this video. You can grab that and print it out and meet me here Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. next week. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Karen says, I'll be here only for a short time and then I'll watch later. Okay, I'm so glad you stopped in. Hello, everybody. I see Devi is here. Miss Devi, I got your quilt yesterday. Yay. Hello, everybody. I want to thank my moderators, Vicky and Dari. I think that's everybody right now. Hello. Delia said, how do we join for tomorrow? I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, right? Miss Delia, I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Sunday, if you're in Patreon, there will be a link to join the Zoom on the Patreon page, if that's what you're meaning. You might be ahead of me in a time zone. Hello, everybody. Beverly, I'm so glad your surgery went good. I've been waiting for an update. It's so great to see you. Hello. Yay. Okay, so I think that's everything. And I did want to mention, last week we were talking about sublimation quite a bit, and many of you had questions. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do a video. So I did a whole series from start to finish. It's like 5 videos, editing the photos, cropping the photos, printing the photos, the settings, the fabric, the paper, all of that. If you haven't seen that series, it's here on my channel. If you have questions about sublimation and you want to get started with it, hopefully that series answers a lot of your questions and gets you going. And y'all, I started a new t-shirt quilt. A lot of y'all started following my videos because of the t-shirt quilt videos. It's been a while since I put one out, but I'm going to start a vlog series here and there on the new t-shirt quilt that I'm making. I'm excited about it. It's going to be such a fun quilt. All right. I guess I should have done this while I was chit-chatting. I'm going to pull up today's pieces and how I numbered them. The picture you see on the screen is the mirror imaged version of today's pieces and the way that I numbered them. So when I say W1, Y1, you know which piece I'm laying down on the quilt. If you want to use these same numbers, that's why I put it up on the screen. And let me go ahead and turn this bad boy on and let her start heating up. Nadine said, I think I will hire you to sublimate for me. It's a process. It's a process, right? I think getting all the equipment and the supplies for it is the biggest part of the process. But even if you want really great results, it's still a process, editing the photos and all that stuff. I would be happy to do that for you, Nadine. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to leave this up on the screen for a second and take a sip of my tea and my brand new pretty mug. Look at there. Miss Jane and Betty gave me this mug for my birthday. Isn't that so pretty? She sublimated. Talking about sublimation, y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? It kind of matches. Do you see my new background? The little frame around my picture? It kind of matches that. It's like she knew. Hello, hello. All right, so I think if you want to copy these numbers, you could take a screenshot of the screen or come back on the replay, right, and pull it up and pause the video. I know, it's like she knew. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the cutting mat, y'all. Here on my table, you'll see I have the right side version of the pattern taped together. Actually, it's glue sticked together. Originally, I was taping the front of this, and then I couldn't color over the tape, so I had to reprint and started using a glue stick. So I've colored in all the pieces that we've done as of last week. We're working in this section right here, all of the full pieces that fit within here, right? I'm not tackling any of the pieces that fall along this line here and there. Some of them were close, like I guess I could have improvised a little bit, but I think I'm going to wait on the pieces that fall along that cutoff line. And these are the pieces that we're doing this week. I've already traced them and cut them, and I made sure that I traced the mirror image side because I'm using a fusible, y'all. So let me bring this back over. These are the pieces that we're doing. This is the mirror imaged version, and I'm actually going to fold this up a little bit so I can have it sitting next to me. Some of you have been sharing pictures of your hummingbird quilts over on the Creative Crew. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Don't mind me while I fold this up a little bit. Just want to make it a little bit more manageable. There. Okay. And let me bring over my quilt top. Oh, goodness, Catherine. Oh, no. Ooh, Dawn's having a corned beef sandwich for lunch. We go live at 12 noon. Many days I skip lunch, but if I were going to eat lunch, right now is when I would probably eat lunch. And so that sounds delicious. And I'm just going to move this in the screen. Today, you can see my white lines really, really good. Can you do how to sublimate a cup video? I'm going to be really honest with you, Delia. I have not sublimated cups. Now I have 2 heat presses. Yeah, we're still waiting. That's still blinking. Let that heat up. I have 2 heat presses. I have the larger 16 by 20, and then my first heat press was a 15 by 15, and it's a swing away. Oh, it just beeped. And it came with 2 different size mug presses, 2 different size plate presses, and a hat press. And I have never even plugged them in to use them. But after seeing that mug, and Joyce did some photos on a mug, Joyce in the Creative Crew, and she shared photos of them, and I've had the fever and the itch to do some mugs, so I'm going to be sourcing some mugs and experimenting with it. If I get the process down really good, I'll do a video on it. Ooh, Brenda's doing these blocks with watercolor. Ooh. I would love to see that, Brenda. Watercolor paints. All right, she just beeped, which means she's warmed up. My numbers are going to be off to the side, okay? But I'll read them out loud as I'm putting them down. And the first pieces that I'm going to be working with are the sky area pieces. So we'll set that there. This is piece number 5, which goes right there. Thank you, Catherine. It is really pretty, right? All right, we're ready to start fusing these pieces down. Because this iron is small, it is super duper hot, but it's got a small little pressing plate. I kind of feel like I'm really only tacking this in place. I mean, it fuses them well, but when the live is over, I take my iron and I just go over the pieces quickly to make sure everything is adhered to the fabric well. I don't want to press it too much because then that fusible soaks into the fabric and the pieces don't stick anymore. But I do go over it one more time when we're done with my regular iron. This is piece number 3, which goes in right around that petal right there. And let me grab my scissors because I do want to do a little trim on her. There we go. I love how you can just fix a piece real quick. There we go. That fits a little bit better. Sheila, that's awesome. I would have loved to have seen a picture of that mug. I don't think I got to see that. Piece number 6. I have little strings everywhere. 6 goes right there. And I do think I just want to take a small little sliver right off of the top of that. It is like doing a puzzle. It really is. There we go. You can kind of see this white chalk pencil I'm using to trace the outline each week. Handling the quilt, all of my previous lines are really starting to fade. So that's nice. I won't have to worry about that by the time we're done. They're starting to fade. Piece number 10 comes right down here. Does it? I don't think I've traced piece number 10. We're going to hold on to that for a second. I think I'm missing a little traced piece right there. I am. Piece number 2 goes in right there. We had some little curvy pieces this week. Pieces fitting around these petals. If you enjoy fussy cutting, you might have enjoyed cutting this week's pieces. There we go. Fuse her down. I've got quite a big line there. I think, y'all, because I didn't put a freezer paper on the back of this black fabric, I noticed when I was tracing that I started tracing, I think, week 3, kind of crooked. So now I'm having these little gaps show up. That's all right. This is piece number 1. Where does it go? Oh, okay, so piece number 1, let's see how that fits. Because it's got to fit right into the area, but below the beak of the bird and around that flower. And I do think I just want to take a little snippet. No, I'm not going to mess with it. It's too thin. Let's place her down. This might be the trickiest part of this week. I can always take a black marker, like a fabric marker. We'll do that before we finish for today. And just make that black line right in there. I think that would be easier than trying to shave a little bit off of that blue. I like fussy cutting a little bit, but not that much. Yeah, Sheila, send pictures. I would love to see it. Ella, you almost forgot it was Friday. Let's see. Piece number 7 is going to fit right in here. That seems to be a good fit. Corned beef, cabbage, tomatoes, and carrots. Ooh, that sounds good. Y'all trying to make me so hungry. All right, that piece fits really good. We're going to fuse it down. Oletta, you're going to attempt with pencil and watercolor for your mosaic. Ooh. That sounds like a lot of fun. I hope there's a way that you can share pictures with me. All right, so that's piece number 7. This is piece number 11, right down underneath of that leaf. And then piece number 8 is going to tuck right in here. We're starting to get to the hummingbird. I'm going to have to start making some commitments on how I want to do that hummingbird. Because next week, y'all, I think we will be completing the pieces and the placement of the hummingbird. So we'll be looking at doing the wings and the body of the hummingbird. So have a good week to stare at this up on the wall and make some commitments. Piece number 4 is going to tuck right above the tip of that leaf. Ooh, Catherine, you might be getting some Inktense pencils. Those are so much fun. All right, I think I do want to shave just a little tiny bit off of the side of this one. There we go. That fits much better. Yeah, I can't decide, Ella. That's why I'm glad we have a week before we get to the hummingbird and the wings and all that stuff. I think there's probably 100 different ways you could do it. I for certain don't think there's a right way or a wrong way that you can approach those pieces. Piece number 9 is going to fit right in there. So whichever way I decide to go with it, just know if it works for you, awesome. But if you think of another way to do it that's easier and you like the results better, by all means, certainly do it that way. I like having the darks and the lights next to each other. I think that's nice. All right, piece number 10, I forgot to trace. I forgot to trace onto my pattern, so we're just going to be eyeballing it, y'all. It goes a little bit like that. But I forgot to trace it on my fabric. That's okay. Hello, everybody. We're just eyeballing that. That looks about right. We're going to fuse it in there. I do have quite a big gap right there. I may end up doing something to fill in that gap. I guess we'll see as we go along. So those are the sky pieces for this week, right? I think there were 11 of them. And then what I labeled Y1, because I'm using yellow, is the last petal for this flower. So that will complete that flower. I saw some gorgeous pictures of hummingbird quilts on the Creative Crew, all different colors of flowers. I saw a red one, and I'm going to tell you that red flower just popped. And I was like, whoa, that is gorgeous. So this petal completes that flower. Dari, you're so nice. All right, so that's that flower. And then I had to make a commitment because one part of the bird comes in this week. And that's the chin of the bird. I don't know what that's called. I say it's his chin. The bottom portion of the bird's head, right? I decided to go with white. My dilemma was that I'm using white for this top flower, so I went with a little bit of an off-white. I don't know that you see the color difference so much on the screen. I didn't want it to blend in with that flower. So the white that I'm using for the bottom portion of the bird's head is a little bit darker and it's a different fabric. Let's see how it fits because I think I'm going to have to do some trimming. Just a smidgen around his eye. Let's see if that fits any better. Let me get right above his eye. I just don't want this piece exactly touching the bird's eye. Oh, still a little trimming. I don't want to trim too much. Oh, I think that's really good. Maybe a smidgen right off of that. Okay, we're going to go with it. I think my little camera up there is flickering. I probably need to unplug it and plug it back in. Sometimes these cameras want to do that. All right, so there is the bottom portion of the bird's head. Ooh, he's starting to show up on the quilt, y'all. What other pieces do we have this week? Oh, we have the other two white petals, and that'll finish that flower. So I named these W1 and W2. And there's W1. Oh, I just want to just take a little small sliver off of this flower. Just a smidgen. There we go. That's so much better. And then W2 goes right there. Let's see how that one fits. Ooh, she's a little tall. Let me just do a little trim on that one. There we go. That's better. Kim, you got this iron for Christmas? I really like it for detailed stuff. It's so much easier to work with than the big iron for little tiny things, right? All right, and I think that leaves us with just one more piece, the little tip of that leaf we started last week. Yep, that's it. Let's see how that's going to fit. Oh, that'll be perfect. See how it completes the leaf? Yay. And that's it. That's the pieces for this week, y'all. It was a much lighter week than last week. Ooh, I really like that. It's a slightly different green than the green I used for the top of his head. And while I was cutting the pieces for this week, I was really thinking, starting to process how am I going to quilt this? What are some other fun things that we could do with this? And I thought once all the pieces are down, that I might want to come in with some ink tints and maybe do some gradients in some of my flowers. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? This tone on tone white fabric, it takes paint so cool. Have you ever tried to paint white on white fabric? It takes paint and you see the design of the print on the white fabric. It's so cool. I thought maybe we could do some of that. I thought as far as quilting, that I'll probably bring y'all along and maybe quilt this quilt in sections during lives. so that you can hang out with me while I quilt it. I even thought of maybe doing a little beadwork on the hummingbird, maybe in the center of the flowers. I don't know. There's just so much that you could do with this. And I think it would be fun to share that. Pamela, you got one of the irons too. Yes. Catherine will definitely be praying for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so when I put in this piece, I didn't want to trim it because look how thin that is already. I had a fear that my little shaky jerks, I'd cut that piece in half. So it's touching right there, and I like the black separation between my pieces. So let me find a little fabric marker here. This one will do. This is a Marvy black fabric marker. It has a good little tip to that. See that? I'm just going to go in and create the illusion of some black space here. No one will ever know. See that? And I think for me, it's much easier to do this than it would have been to trim that blue area. And I really think because this is an art quilt, y'all, we can get away with doing so many things that we probably wouldn't do in a traditional quilt, right? See that separation? Oh, I like that so much better. I think I'm going to go right in here because the blue fabric is touching the bottom of the bird's beak a little bit. Is that what it's called, a beak? And I'm just going to add some separation right there. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to add a little bit of separation right there. See that? It looks so much better already, right? Where else can we touch up? Maybe right here, because that is touching a little bit. See that? Bam, fixed. Now, I do have quite a gap there, and I think it's because this section here was sort of slanted when I traced it, and so it's given me a little bit of a problem issue right there. I'm going to think about it and ponder it a little bit. If I want to just add a little sliver of blue fabric right there, I could do that and just improvise that way. And in the finished quilt, no one would ever know that that piece wasn't designed to be there. So I might think about it and probably just cut myself a little sliver that looks like a thin little tile that goes right in there. Because to me, especially when I look at it on the screen, it looks like a visually big gap. Even right here, I might put a little sliver like that sliver. I might cut a little sliver for that. And so, yeah, I'm going to ponder it a little bit. But I think that's how I'm going to fix that, right? So there we go. Don't you think that looks really good? Oh, Kim says, I like the gap. Sheila said blue beads. Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Sylvia said, I want to add some shiny fabric to the bird. I wanted to source all the fabric for this quilt from my quilt stash. And I got really fortunate because the last 4 commissions I did, 2 of the quilts, the scraps I had left over were teal and blue. And I was like, okay, well, that's from my stash. So I've been able to use some of those in addition to some blues I already had. I don't know if I have any shiny fabric, but I love that idea. And if I buy anything, it might be something metallic or shiny to do the wings with. Because, yeah, that would be gorgeous. Sheila, I have not opened the bag yet. I haven't. But so I've been watching all these TikToks. Like in the evening, if Harlan wants to watch a show that I could really not care about, you know, like he likes to watch a lot of the Marvel shows and Star Wars kinds of shows. He really enjoys those. And I don't so much. So if he wants to watch that, I'll put my earphones in and I'll watch YouTube videos or TikToks, right? And so there's this TikTok creator who does hooped small projects with trinkets, much like what's in this bag, and beads. And she creates the most stunning artwork just out of hooped fabric and a little hoop and trinkets. And it is so fascinating and it turns out so cool. I cannot wait to open this bag. I was thinking though the other day, because I see the bag when I'm heat pressing, right? And I was staring at the bag while I was heat pressing, and I was like, you know what? I should really get some kind of organizing container. You know, like the plastic containers that you would put DMC thread in. I don't have any empty ones, but I think you can get those relatively pretty cheap. I think I would like to have a couple of those for when I do open this up so that I could kind of sort it as I'm going through it. Stuff I want to keep and kind of sort it out. And then stuff that I'll give away or that I don't want can go off to the side. I was kind of thinking that. Yeah, the mixed media. Some French knots, that would be fun. Ooh, French knots in the centers of the flowers. That sounds like a lot of fun. Sheila said, I'm going to come over one day and hijack. You know, it's such a small world, y'all. Doing YouTube videos, you would be surprised who you meet and how close you are to them. Sheila, turns out she lives 15, 20 minutes away from me. And she came during one of my lives. She was here with me. And she's going to come hijack my YouTube and we can... Sheila, I think I would really enjoy that. I did an unbagging of a bag like this that I got like 2 years ago. I did that video on Facebook Live. I think the extra hands would be really helpful. So let me know what kind of plans you have coming up. Y'all, here's my quilt. I'm going to be really honest. I wanted to restart this. Do you ever get project envy or fabric envy? After week 1, I kind of wanted to restart this. And I might even start a second, even though I said I wasn't going to. I did week 1, and then I saw the pictures being posted on Creative Crew, y'all, of the different colored flowers. And I kind of really liked those pictures better than my white flower that I'm using up here. I just didn't know that that was enough contrast. Do you know what I'm saying? To really pop. But I stuck with it. And now that the rest of the sky area is surrounding it, I do think there is enough contrast there. So I'm glad I didn't start over, but I still want to do another one. I want to do a painted one. Kim, this is going to be finished 20 inches by 20 inches. Now I have a couple extra inches on the sides right now and at the top. But once you are done working with everything and you get it quilted, we're going to trim this up to 20 inches by 20 inches. And so let me show you what that looks like. The other quilts that we've done are pinned up behind me. This one still has the extra fabric on it. I haven't squared that one up yet. But the one above it and the seahorse, that's 20 inches by 20 inches. It's a great size wall quilt or to feature as a table topper, a centerpiece on a table. Yeah, painting it would be so much fun. And that's how originally I had planned this series, was to paint it. But it seems that there's more interest in doing these pieces in fabric. And so we're doing it in fabric. But painting would be my medium of choice. And that's just me being honest with you. Yeah, I would have loved to have painted this quilt. Karen, you're right. I still have 3 more flowers to go, and I could add a pop of red down towards the bottom. You're right. But y'all, the Project Envy, it happens to everybody. I see the same project posted, and I'm like, wow, I wish I would have done that instead of what I chose. But learning to be happy with what I'm creating is a thing for me that I need to get better at. So Wendy, yeah, you'll have to go back and catch that. Vicky said, I'm not putting, she's not putting her quilts on the table. Everybody would be still spilling their stuff on it. Vicky, you know, I'm not joining in on the Quilt Fest thing going on TikTok. Is that for the whole month of March? How does that work? I see all of your posts. Oletta said, will you use acrylics or inks? I'm thinking, Oletta, if I come back in, let me, on this quilt with the fabric, I'm thinking if I come in with some color on this particular project, I will probably use my Inkscape paint palette. Now, I did do a couple of videos using the paint palette from Inkscape, and I'm going to tell you, I like that even more than the pencils because I can put down a lot of color a lot quicker. So if I come back in with any color on this, I'll probably use that. Oh, it's only 13 days. Today is day 7. Ooh, I'll have to go see what you posted today. Sylvia, you're going to hang yours on the door. The neighbors love looking at. Oh, you're spreading joy, Sylvia. Ooh, Catherine, you're being treated. Yes. So this is where I'm at. Ooh, let's, while I have this black marker, this just caught my attention. Let's just add some separation here. I'll probably end up taking some good time once all the pieces are down and touching up all over where I think the pieces might be a little bit too close. That looks better. Did you see that little change? Ooh, Sheila, send me a couple pictures of what you got. We'll take a look at it. Valerie was asked if I'm going to frame it. Ooh, so one cool thing is if you do just a black binding, a simple black binding on these, it kind of frames itself, right? But you could certainly throw this in a frame. I think finding a custom frame for it might be tricky, but if you work with wood, you could probably make one, right? So this is where we are, everybody. Next week, let's take a look at what's going on next week with this hummingbird. Oh, yep. All right, so set aside some good time next week, even if you can't join the live when you come back on the replay. Because, see, we're going to be, the whole hummingbird fits into week 6. So that means we're going to be doing the wings, his belly. I was supposed to do that red. Let's make a little note. Add red paint to chin of bird. I don't know what y'all call it. I had colored that red. So when we're all done, we'll add a little bit of red in there. There we go. And then we'll have the belly of the bird and this set of wings. And then his whole tail area fits into next week. We won't actually be able to do this part of the stem because it extends down here, so that won't be done. But we'll have a couple of leaves in this stem area. And then it looks like a few little petals of this bottom flower. The center of that flower does go down into the very last week, so we won't do that. And then, of course, the sky pieces. So we're tackling the bird next week, y'all. The bird's gonna pop in next week. Nihal Art Connects. You can email me at lisacapenquilts@gmail.com. Hello, Nancy. Come on in. We're getting ready to finish up for this week, but you can come back on the replay. A little bit of fewer pieces this week than the previous week, right? But yeah, we're making really good progress on this. Dawn, if you're worried about the paper cutting, if you're using a fusible like Heat and Bond Light with the paper backing on it, right, or the freezer paper, you could have 2 sets of scissors. One set that you only use fabric with, and then the other set that you use for cutting applique pieces that have paper backings. I use my same scissors, and I've been using my same scissors. I can't tell a difference in doing that, but I know some people are really protective of their fabric scissors, so you might want to have a second set. Do you have this pattern posted? I do, Kim. It's in the description box. So this week, you'll find week 5 pieces. If you go to last week's video and open the description box, you'll find 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was starting to get really long in the description box, so yeah, I just posted week 5 pieces down below, but you can go to each of the videos and get the pieces. It's a free pattern. So please join in if you want to. And Wendy, you're in luck because also in the description box, there's a link for the playlist. So all of these videos are saved in one place. And you can save the playlist and you can go back to the very start and watch 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. And it's going to be 9 weeks of putting pieces down. And then we're going to spend a couple of videos after week 9 doing some touch-ups, maybe doing some fun stuff like painting some areas of this quilt. We're going to quilt areas of this quilt together and maybe do some beadwork. I'm playing with that idea. Linda the old bird is here. Hello, Linda. Hazel, I'm not on early today. Our clocks changed. They did. And the time change has had me messed up all week long. Our clocks went back an hour. I'm sorry. Oh, it's called the throat of the bird. Okay. Nancy said I could add a little bit of glitter to it. Ooh. Yep, oh yeah, our clocks went forward, not backwards. So we lost an hour of sleep. And I have felt that hour this week, y'all. I'm going to turn this iron off and let it start cooling off. So yep, Sheila, if you have some free times, shoot me some days and some times and we'll plan to come on live. I need to run to the store and get some little organizers to separate trinkets into. Or else I'm just going to end up putting it all in one container and it'll still be a tangled mess. I know, Hazel, you almost missed me. I saw the apron you made. That was so pretty. All right, everybody. So that is all the stuff for this week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you have some time to get creative this weekend. And as always, if you're making this project, I hope you share pictures if you're on the creative crew, or share pictures of whatever you're working on. Diana, I saw that they might be doing away with daylight savings. I saw that. I have mixed feelings about it because I'm going to be really honest. I always love the fall back in the fall because I feel like that 1 hour I've gained so much. I don't know why. But the spring forward always messes me up. Nadine, you did not miss the bag reveal. I haven't done it yet. But Sheila offered to come over and help me with that live. So we're going to plan it and we're going to do it. All right, Miss Sylvia, I'm going to look forward to seeing it. I hope y'all all have a fantastic weekend. I hadn't planned on eating lunch today, but I'm going to go eat some lunch today because y'all were talking about some yummy food. Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. I'm off to do some sublimation pictures, eat a little bit of lunch and do some sublimation pictures. Have a fantastic weekend.